Welcome to What We Thought Would Happen.
Oh, hi.
I'm Dana Webb.
I'm Laura Kightlinger.
And we have an extra special, super fun, mega lovely guest today. It's Michelle Biloon.
Hello.
But really fast, we're talking about Disneyland.
Yeah.
And the thing about the fatigue, it doesn't hit you till the next day.
Yeah.
Is that
Here I am.
It's
Well, good thing I didn't have anything to do today.
It's that hard concrete though. It's stomping around on
It is. It's the foot, and I'm wearing my Brooks Ghost. Like I'm not, I'm sitting down. I'm trying to hydrate, but no, it was a lot. And it was an adult day. There was no kids there, so it's not like we were trying to get every ride. What?
Wait, not within the whole park. Adult day.
No, it was not adult day.
I was like, that's a thing.
Shit, I could have gone.
I know.
No. There was lots of there was lots of children around.
Ugh.
Some of them ran into me. And
well, you're a mom.
But I am. Yes, that's how I define myself. That's it.
What is that like when you're in a experience like that, but you're there strictly for the adult?
It's fine. I have no problem with it.
Can you?
My kid was texting me like when it was like because they were in Philly currently and they're texting me and I'm like, why are you texting me at 11 p.m. your time? And they're having a sleepover. And I was there like, when are you going to go on this ride? I'm like, I'm going to go on the ride because I knew because it was like a fast pass situation, like 7:45 while I'm on the ride. They text me. They're like, how is the ride? I'm on it now. I'm currently on it. And I'll tell you, but they want to know. They want to know everything about
Instant feedback.
Yeah, it was not a fear of missing out, although a little bit, but mostly like I know that like I have to like make sure I'm hitting some spots so I can share with them how it is. But
how old are your kids, first of all?
I have one kid, non-binary, so I use they, them pronouns. But,
okay.
11, fifth grade.
Yeah. Oh, wait. That's the turnover.
Oh, yeah. It's middle school. That's where middle school starts.
But that's when they're like a cool kid into like full on rage, like teenager.
I could see all of the kids in their grade suddenly care about things that they didn't really care about before. And there's group texts going on. I very loosely monitor. They don't have a phone, but they have an Apple Watch, so I can track them, which I do. And
I would track my kids.
Oh yeah. And they have and I have Apple tags everywhere.
Wow.
but they
do they know that?
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. But they also
here's a new pair of earrings.
I had to turn off my location for them to see because I travel and they'd be like, "Oh, so what are you doing at that restaurant?"
No.
And I'm like, no, this is not happening. At first, I was like, street. You don't get to talk to me about where I am, and then they did it once more. I'm like, turned off.
Yeah.
And I actually don't let them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I tell them this because they were on it a little bit without my knowledge, and I said, adults can't stop themselves from spiraling on things like TikTok, YouTube. And I said, and your brain is not developed enough to not want to just be like, oh, well, that's interesting, and that's and I'm like, that's time that you could be, playing Nintendo Switch. So,
and
like,
Michelle, what does your husband do?
I'm gonna very briefly talk about this. I can't really get into it, but it's fine. But I left my husband 2 weeks ago, and I just got an apartment, and it's like, probably legally shouldn't get into it that much, but we're working on things separated. Could get back together.
Wow.
And that's kind of where we're at. So I just moved into an apartment in Center City in Philly, and it's great.
So we'll put a link to Michelle's registry.
Yeah. Please, yeah.
So we can get the housewarming, right?
Yeah. I really like these glasses.
They're nice,
let me know where you got them.
There should be a registry for singles.
Oh my God.
Is there?
Honestly,
I did have to buy it because I didn't want to take things out of my house. So I went ham at Target. First I was like, I'm only going to get nice things. And I was like, I can't fucking get nice forks. I just need forks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I quit giving my friends wedding gifts because in my 20s, all my friends that got married when we were all in our 20s all split up. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
And it was like, I went and bought practical gifts and then I started getting quorky gifts and then I just started saving my money. I was like, fuck you guys. I will give you a 10-year anniversary gift.
Oh, that's it.
Right.
Mine should have been 15 because we were at 13. And so then if you use me as your marker. Yeah.
Right.
I am so excited that you just said nice silverware. I have some for you.
Oh, hey.
Oh my God. Honestly, the last 3 times I've been here, Laura's been polishing a mysterious box of silverware.
Oh my God.
So you're taking them. They're going to be heavy, but you're putting them in your suitcase.
Oh, it's like Vanderpump Rules.
It is.
Yeah.
I feel like you have a black market of moving parts.
I just have a problem. I'm always on eBay or thrifting or some crap.
Wow.
I'm past have any good bargains now because I've spent too much money. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I can't use the sale excuse anymore. Not with Garrett or anybody.
The sale is over, Laura.
Yeah, I know. But I'll wind up looking at stuff and go, well, that would be a good Christmas present for blah blah blah.
You literally
thoughtful. It's it's like the thoughtful
Right.
gene kicks in.
Yeah,
You're
that's
like,
how
it's not.
hoarders
guess,
think.
Michelle, I know.
this
I know.
That is
Michelle,
the template of
and
hoarder
that's how I get my fix. I say, well,
Yeah.
it's not for me.
Uh-huh.
And I
Yeah.
have that over with. No, it's stupid.
You're like a reverse hoarder.
Yeah.
The nice
Yeah.
thing is you brought me into a room that doesn't read hoarder; it just reads eclectic. So like I don't,
Yeah.
it's like the so
Well,
like it's,
Laura has
because
great
I try
style.
to give stuff away.
Yeah.
So I can. I don't hoard.
Yeah, there's
My mom
trust me,
does.
there is a whole roll of gold wallpaper that she keeps trying to unload
you
on
might,
me.
Who knows?
I want it. I just don't have
Well,
room for it.
my friend Nicole gave that to me because
Oh,
I
there
thought
you go.
maybe
Oh, that's
I
from
would use it
Nicole?
because I'm
Oh,
always
yeah.
redecorating the house.
Is
Nicole
that
Tom.
Nicole? Oh
It's
yeah.
the Hoarders Across America tour. They sort of hand things to each other.
I had
That's how.
to come to terms myself.
Yeah.
Because you were living in a big house. And
Yeah,
so-
no, that's why. So I moved. Like we bought a house. I mean, technically it's still my house, but I mean it's a 1892 gorgeous Victorian in Philly. It's a gorgeous house, and so it was like over 3,000 square feet. And so I didn't really want to take a lot of stuff out of there. And this is very new, by the way. I've literally been in
It
my
is
apartment for
very
a few
new.
weeks. And so I decided, I was just like, there was some furniture we weren't using. And I was just like, well, I'm just buying it. So I'm like literally furnishing a house. Like I had to buy, like I really had to buy mixing bowls. Like, oh, I need a rubber spatula. Like, and now I'm just seeing things I
But
need.
then don't you feel like
Can
you
I
buy-
just? I have to interject. By the way,
I'm-
Michelle is a young beauty, but she has a bruise under her eye. She came here with a suitcase.
I just hope if there's any of your
What's that
lawyers out
knapsack
here.
over your
yeah.
shoulder?
She really is fresh on this. And I said you could. I always say comics can stay here. And so Michelle's going to move in. I'm glad.
Once again, please link the registry in the comments
Yeah.
section. I feel intimidated when I'm buying stuff for the
That is
kitchen.
not. I just want to say, just in case my
It's a joke.
the relatives know, it's currently amicable.
Yeah.
And
This will be out later.
yeah.
This is all satire. It's
Yeah,
all
of course,
satire.
and of course, I'm a comic. I lean into the
into the-
caricature of everything. Yeah.
But don't mixing bowls specifically. It's like, doesn't shit like that make you feel like either an imposter? Because you're like, what am I running?
Dude, I made
you
banana
cook?
bread. I made banana bread last
many?
week.
Oh, you
How
did?
many? 3,000.
I was gonna say, no, I meant
one.
like how many times?
One.
Is there a Fitbit for that? How many things have you made?
How many times have you stirred? I am a Midwestern level cook, but I haven't really done a lot. My husband did a lot of like that kind of stuff, and every once in a while I'd step in to make some French onion dip or some sort of whip up some deviled eggs,
Holy shit. Can we talk?
and Jello shots, whatever we need for a good college.
Yeah. Why is all of those things you listed somewhat gelatinous?
Oh yeah, I like textures that aren't that are smooth.
Can we?
Did he kick you out of the kitchen when you were cooking, or I mean, did you guys cook together? And bake together?
No, we didn't. Unless there was a time when I thought I'm gonna work on my cooking skills a bit, and then he would kind of hang around so I could ask him to hand me things.
Because Gary always kicks me out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
He goes, "Get out of here."
Can you cook?
No.
See, that's why.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
But that's happened all my life.
Don't you want to cook? I mean, that's like the thing is like I have cookbooks.
I
Like,
kind
Yeah.
of want to,
Yeah.
I want
but
to.
I can't pay attention like long enough to get.
No.
I don't know.
I worked on a weed
I can't
farm.
improvise. Like I mean, like I'm not like I can't go into a kitchen and be like, oh, I'll just boop 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 boop.
Yeah.
I'll make this
You need a
saute,
blueprint.
whatever. I need either to make something that BLT or something like that, or I need a nice recipe. With
I
that.
worked
Too
on
crazy.
a weed farm in Colorado, and everybody was high on blow the whole time, which I didn't anticipate.
On blow.
Yeah, everybody was morning, noon, and night. Everybody
Wow.
was.
that. So
What did
morning
they do at the
rails.
blow farm then?
Yes!
I mean, do you step it up or do you take it down and you're high on weed?
You have to fucking.
Yeah.
You have to candy flip on
Yeah.
your way in the door. So they were out of their minds.
They have to stay awake to roll joints.
I
Yeah.
couldn't understand it. It was because it is an around the clock operation weed, but it just doesn't require that much stimulation, if you ask
Yeah.
me.
Right.
And so it was my night on the farm to make dinner, and so I'm making all this chicken, and I'm roasting chicken, and it's taking forever. And finally, I'm in the oven, I'm looking, I'm like, it's not even hot. And then from the living room, the other farmer who's a friend goes, oh, it seemed like it was too hot, so I turned it down. I was like, turned what down? I was like, is this your recipe? Is this your chicken? Zero.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, what fucking psychopath walks through not their kitchen
Yeah.
and sees the dinner that they're not preparing?
Let's undercook this meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I couldn't
man.
believe it. And then it was like, that was the one time I had to shine as a cook for the group.
Yeah.
And everybody died of salmonella.
That's like typhoid Mary.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe, I was like, that's why cocaine is bad.
Yeah.
Because it misinforms your recipe.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You
Anyway.
get a little, everything is heightened for the
Yeah,
wrong
it
reason.
was confident.
It was really weird that the people on the weed farm really weren't that into recreational weed use. It was like guns and blow. It was crazy.
Maybe that's kind of part of the thing, even if it's a lie on your application. that you're not going to get high on your own supply.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you can't get,
no.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. It was weird. They were.
I'm not interested in marijuana. I just want to grow it.
You're not. Yeah. See, that sounds boring. Also, marijuana smells so gross when it's a lot. Like a farm's worth of weed. Is super gross.
And in Colorado, like you smell it as you're driving around.
Yeah, it's weird.
Really?
I had a friend in.
I kind of like it, actually.
The smell.
I've never been on a farm though, so maybe it's not quite as
was like small.
tantalizing when you're that up close. But I've never been into a weed farm.
It has like dirty house smell.
Oh, okay.
It has like hoarder smell.
I wouldn't know what that smells like.
She would keep a clean house. All these fucking mixing bowls out of the way. Okay, so wait, you did go to Disneyland. Can we talk about the food options at Disneyland really fast?
So it was a fun day with my friend. And I do go every year. I go to Disneyland as a family.
Are you?
And I'm with Tenny. And so since we've moved away, and so
Are you a Disney adult?
no, I'm not. So the thing is I had gone when I lived here with friends that were Disney adults, and I kind of learned the tricks of the trade, and so it made it. And so when I come, we usually stay at the hotel at the park, and then are here for a few days. I'm not usually doing a day where there's not a bed somewhere I can like roll into. So that was a big day, and so
like the resort, you'll stay at the
Grand
Disney?
California, the nice one, which is great because it like goes into the park. One time I did a Plaid tour. I was a friend of a friend, and a Plaid tour is where someone's paying a shit ton of money, and they just take you around the park.
Or Margaret Cho told us if you're like an ABC,
and you can get like gifted,
that
was amazing because then you really don't have to think about it.
Was the person famous?
Nope, it was just that was a Disney adult with money who had it, and so that was crazy, and that was a fun day. And I also got to go to the restaurant Club 33 because he also paid like $30,000 a year to be a member at this restaurant.
Fucking nuts!
And it was that was a lucky thing.
Question: do the like characters, right, the Mickey Mouse and everybody?
Yeah, they have to sort of feel fealty to you.
Yeah, that's my question.
No, I don't know. No, I don't remember what they did when I was part of. But you notice when you know about the Plaid, like yesterday with my friend, like every time you see someone, like a group of people with a Plaid, you're like, who are they? But usually it's nobody. It's just someone who wants to pay that.
So do you know what this is? It's like it's a tour guide who wears a plaid.
Yeah,
very unflattering shirt.
It's an outfit,
a blouse.
Yeah.
And then you see him in the park like narrating as they lead a bunch of rich people around.
They take you get up to they just take you right to the front. They plan your whole day, and not only that, like we went to the Haunted Mansion. My friend loves the Haunted Mansion, and so we had like a fast pass or whatever because we didn't do that many rides because I'm not going to wait on. We just were planning our day of the few things we wanted to do, and so we get out of the Haunted Mansion, and the people that were on the Plaid that had gone to the Haunted Mansion right behind us. They came out and their Plaid tour guide was waiting with a tray of churros. And then we were like, because up to that point we hadn't seen that happen. And I was like, oh, come on.
They're like, Vanessa, go get us some churros while we ride the ride.
Yeah,
it's funny to me that the only thing worse to differentiate between all the adults wearing like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck infanticide shit is Plaid.
Yeah, yes, exactly. You guys are the top tier.
But it stands
and
out.
I don't mean infanticide. That means infant death.
And that's part of it. At the end, you get to pick which of those you've seen 1,000 kids.
One of these babies
today.
has to go.
One of these babies have to go.
I meant infantile.
Yes. Did you go? I like Toontown?
Yeah, so that hadn't been open the last couple times I went. I went last year for the first time in a few years, but they have a new ride. It's like so I went on that for the first time.
What was the new ride?
It's called Runaway Train or something, and it's neat because it's just like it's like kind of an old school ride, whatever, like the live action set type things, but it's also animated in 3D and like not real 3D, but everything moves and is lively and it's great.
It's fun.
I hear the real ones in Japan.
No, really?
No.
Do you know what they have in Japan?
They always have runaway trains, I think.
Oh yeah, I see.
You're a gamer.
Yes, I missed.
Did you know?
I'm not a Disney adult. I'm not a gamer. I just like to go to Disneyland and I like video games.
And I like to play games.
And maybe I have a child, but I'm not a mom. Okay, I just want to establish that I am not.
Quit trying to put all these labels on me.
I'm going to be in Edinburgh at the Fringe Fest, but I am not.
They in Tokyo, you can do it's Mario Kart in the streets.
Oh wow!
You drive a go-kart and they put you.
He's trying to get me to play Mario Kart with him. By the way, this is part of the big.
I want to.
Yeah,
we're gonna play tonight.
Yeah.
But you wear a Mario costume and then you drive the streets of Tokyo in a go-kart. Like
I would
video
do
game.
that.
I know, wouldn't it be fun?
Yeah,
but they do have this thing. Have you seen that thing they have with Mario Kart where you actually play it in your house and it's like some sort of like
you sit in a car?
No, it's like it creates creates a virtual track in your house, like it would be like in here, and there's like cameras and stuff, and so it superimposes a Mario Kart track in your house, and so but there's not real cars going around, but you are going around the house. Look at it. It's amazing.
What?
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's it's like a few $100 or something.
It's like that's too complicated. Like I need something.
Do you have to wear one of those things, a virtual mask?
Yeah,
to do
like
that?
the VR.
I don't know. But I do have that for the PS5.
See, not a gamer.
But I'm not a gamer.
Not
I'm
a
not
gamer.
a gamer. I just like you. I was like, this is a bargain. And who knows? Who knows?
Fucking Xbox controller just fell out of your pants.
What
the fuck is that?
I just wanted to make sure it was safe while I was here.
You play games with your kid, right?
Yeah, I do. I do play some games with them, but mostly the games that we play together are not games I would play independently without them. They're into they're into like Mario Kart and stuff, and some other games on the Switch. I play a lot of like sort of like your Red Dead Redemption type games, and like
I performed at a bear convention in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Got it.
Weirdest place the bears could get together. It's like, how could all these bears seem racist? Let's just put them outside Gettysburg. And we say
anybody can seem racist. Now let's not.
It was, but it was no disparaging. It was a great show, but there was a weird hotel in the middle of nowhere, and it was there's all these like kind of conference rooms, and in the middle of it, there's this weird little side room that was an arcade.
Oh,
it was so cool, but like 80s arcade, like it had not been maintained.
Oh,
okay.
I love this.
I was like kind of robotic with some of the machines and things. So I was playing Area 51. Do you remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
So I was playing Area 51.
I was bowling out. My parents would bowl. I'd be in that arcade for hours on
with
end
the
in the
gun.
80s. Yeah.
I was playing that, and it was like a few minutes where all of a sudden I turned and noticed that these two old bears were like blowing each other in the corner of the arcade.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. And I was
In
like,
the
what?
It was an arcade.
And I was like, how do I finish my?
Yeah.
Who finishes first? Do I finish the game, or do I let them finish and then I play?
Or is this? Are we in a symbiotic
Am I in the-
situation
yeah, I was
here?
like-
Is that? If I stop, they stop?
You're
and-
right. I'm
yeah.
accidentally like they can't
Yeah.
come unless there's a game gun going on. We met in Austin, but did we meet at your show?
And I want you to know I love you, and I've loved you from the moment we met, which I don't know the exact moment. And when I remember that show you had at Cap City and how much I loved. What was it?
Camp Mary.
Yeah, that
Yes.
you were so funny. And I think even if I wasn't on it, if I was in, because I used to.
You were though, I remember.
Yeah, I was on. Yeah. So I used to go to Austin a lot. Like back in the day.
Because you like to claim, and it's true, that we knew each other before I met Martha Kelly. I met you before I met Martha.
Oh, I believe that. Because
Yeah.
Martha, I think, was gone already. Martha was in LA. Martha is back and forth.
Correct, yeah. But I think, because like we were saying, the Velveeta Room is a club in Austin.
That's where I started, the Velveeta Room open mic.
Yeah,
February
same.
2000.
Yeah, like my second open mic ever was there. And when Dana was running.
Oh, yeah.
it. But yeah, my first hosting gig ever was for you. I think Lucas might have been the middle. I can't remember.
Vaguely, yeah.
Melanda's
I
owner.
was nice.
You were nice.
Okay, good.
To me or to Lucas?
No, to anybody.
Yeah,
No,
no, you
yeah.
sat. I remember you sat right down and you watched the whole show. But it was right after I hosted, I had a joke because in real life, a plane had just crashed. So I thought, let's make jokes about it. It was something about like jerking off the person next to me. So you'll know how to identify my dead body by the cold dead dick in my hand. Something like that. And as soon as I got off the stage, Mario pulls me aside and he's like,
Oh, well.
try not to do like the plane crash dead dick joke when you're hosting. Because he's like,
Wow,
it sets
that's
a tone.
That's really specific.
Yeah, and I just remember.
And then
like,
I had to like trash my dead dick plane crash joke, and that was why I
Exactly.
had a grudge against you for many years.
No, but I
closer.
remember that. I was the first time I was like, I thought I had done something wrong because I didn't want to upset the apple cart or like do bad.
I don't even remember. I'm sure I never even said anything about that.
But that room is hard. 6th Street is like Hollywood Boulevard, basically.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And it's like you just have walk-ins off of Hollywood Boulevard who are coming in to watch quote-unquote comedy.
Yeah.
Which is not true. They're there to ridicule and walk out of the room.
Oh yeah.
But that's also the only place I've ever walked an audience, but on multiple occasions.
Oh,
Really?
Oh, yeah. It was drinking, though. It was always when I was like drunk. And then if the audience wasn't laughing at me because I was drunk and thought I was funny and they could see the light, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because then I just start correcting people's body language if they're not laughing
Oh,
at
good.
me. I'm like, sit up straight. Cross your legs. Don't look at me like that. I'm like, well, now you're just being rude.
But I feel like that fits in very well with the Velveeta Room vibe. So.
It's an aggressive.
I'm on your side, and I wasn't
Thank you.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I always felt like it was extra straight, extra hetero.
Oh yeah,
Right?
that I think was very much.
I also had a man there who said he was like, I can't wait to represent you. I just want to work with you and make you a star. And he had the biggest rock of cocaine in his nose I've ever seen.
Shit.
It was like a fucking snowball. Okay, so wait, you're visiting LA. You travel a lot. Do you like to tour? You're very East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I've always liked coming back here since I moved away, and I try to get to New York quite a bit, just because Philly's, it's like it's not like a sort of top market,
Yeah.
and I don't have a lot of like sort of comedian like peer friends unless they're like coming through town.
Audiences in Philly are great.
They're fine,
though.
but like I mean, I am doing more stand up now, but Daniel knows this. But in 2018, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
And so I'm doing like now it's almost 6 years, but I'm actually like this past year, like I'm just doing so much better and able to like sort of feel like, I mean, I can go to Disneyland all day.
Yeah.
But
did you opt for the medical pass?
No, and that's not how that works. I actually tried to get it probably like the second year I was there after I'd been diagnosed. The questions that they asked me at the time, I just wasn't prepared to sort of like justify why I wanted it. Because at the time, a lot of my problem was cognitive, and I would just get kind of really fatigued and overwhelmed if I had to like do too much interaction with people, which like that's why. So stand up for me, it was like I just was not doing as much and not doing like clubs. I still would never want to do like a week at a club. And for a while, I just didn't want to do like more than 20. So anyhow, so I never got it, and now I certainly don't need it.
Can I ask you questions about that really fast?
About Disneyland?
No, like the cognitive effect,
Yeah.
where it creates a fatigue. Can you like describe that?
Yeah, I mean, I probably have had MS for a long time, but it's like an iceberg that's like you to the tip is. And when I finally was diagnosed, it was when I was just having weird dizzy spells, and I didn't know what they were coming from. And but there was other things in hindsight I realized were MS related that I just thought were just, oh, my hand's just numb sometimes, kind of, you know. But then after I was diagnosed, it was kind of like falling off a cliff. Like it took a long time. Like I noticed because, of course, like there was some sort of damage that was now really affecting me. And so the cognitive fatigue comes from most of my lesions are on my brain. And there's the damage to the sheath surrounding your neurons is what their immune system does in MS. And so there was like some on my spine that were old, and that's how they officially diagnosed it.
Can they take them out?
They can't. So they can't repair. So any damage that's been done, they can't repair. So that's like the thing with MS. So, but once you get diagnosed, you go on drugs, and there's actually new drugs that were just approved right before I was diagnosed that are amazing.
Oh, great.
That slow the progression down of MS. So I'm on every 6 months, I get this infusion of this drug, Ocrevus, and when I was diagnosed, they said, you're going to have a relapse, which means new damage, new symptoms every 12 to 18 months. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's what it's going to be. But I have not had a relapse, but you still deal with the symptoms. And I also will say that like the symptoms that caused me to get diagnosed really took probably, I mean, now it'll be 6 years in January. I never thought that I would feel like I do right now. And I can't compare it to what I was like before because who can remember?
Sure.
But I know that now I can actually do like go to Disneyland all day. Today I had breakfast with someone, come and do this. I'm going to, hang out with some friends later. That was something I never thought I could do like a ton of stand up or go like be social without getting tired. How it was and how it still can be, which is I have to be mindful, is I would hang out, do this an hour and my face would go numb. Like I would get really fatigued and like, and I have a joke about an album, like an album I recorded.
I have you gave me your album. Yes.
Yeah. So then it's just like where it's like I could feel your brain slowing down, and I'm like, oh my god, this is what it's like to be stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how you guys do. I have a disease. How do you deal with that every day? Because it's like
I have an excuse.
I was like, what? Because you could feel, and sometimes when I get tired, one thing that happens, I know that I'm fatigued when I can't make a decision, which sounds weird. Like where I'm like, you asked me, like, do you want to go here, and it sounds like I'm just being indecisive. And then I realize, oh, like I'm at this point right now, like you have to, please, could you just like choose? Because right now, like I'm not able to process. And so it's just like this thing, because your brain Your neurons, much like lots of things, they sort of like re-navigate themselves, and that causes the fatigue because it's figuring out how to do all the thinking it needs to do.
Right.
You know, you kind of have to accept this is how I'm going to feel, and I'm going to have to be okay with that. But then I kept getting better, and I was like, okay, well then I'm glad I'm going to feel this way.
Does the medicine improve your switch game, and is that considered dosing?
I know. I wish. There's 2 things I take daily for my MS that have vitamin D because it's associated with MS, but it's not like necessarily like helps you. But people that have MS tend to have vitamin D deficiency, so I take some vitamin D. And for the cognitive fatigue and the cognitive fog, I take Adderall every day. And so like a low dose extended tab, and that saved my life.
Yeah.
I was on some other drug that was doing nothing, and I was just so like brain fatigued, which is hard for me because I like to talk to people. And I was just, I couldn't do any of that.
Yeah.
And then I took Adderall, and like, that's all I needed. But the drug I'm on, it works. I get an infusion. They do it at my house now my apartment.
You have house calls?
Well, now they do. I used to have to go like into the suburbs to get it done, which is kind of annoying. But now a nurse comes over. And thank God I'm getting a sofa because right now there's camp chairs in the living room. And I was like, oh my God, can you believe I was like in a camp chair with my IV hooked up and the nurse next to me in a camp chair. But it's an infusion of this drug, and it works. It's like a 5-hour day with a nurse. And
question: does the nurse show up in like a nurse outfit, like smock, or what do you call
it's
it?
not a porn video.
Does the pizza guy show up there? He's like, pizza's here. Or do they just show up in their
they show up in
clothes?
regular clothes, and I make them change into a nurse outfit.
This is see,
Put on some scrubs.
There you go. You can wear that.
I want the experience.
No, I will document it next time. It is weird. The first time they came over, I was like, so what do you do? You know? And she goes, I just sit here. In my head, I thought that she was going to be in another room. And she's like, sits on the couch next to me. And I was about to watch The Boys on Amazon Prime, which is the dirtiest, raunchiest, like superhero show. And I was like, oh, I can't watch that. And I was like, and then I played some video games and I watched like some Netflix reality show. So now I know. But she's coming to my apartment. And so this time, but the drug works by depleting almost all your B cells. Because that is what attacks your, it helps attack your immune system. But the thing is I went on this in 2018, and it is a great drug for many, many people and really changes the face of what MS looks like in the future as far as like how you progress. But if you don't have any B cells, you can't create antibodies from vaccines.
Oh, geez.
So then the pandemic happened.
Oh, my God.
And I seriously lost my mind because I was like, are you kidding me? I know this is an amazing drug. And I'm all vaxxed up.
Right.
But now I'm technically walking around unvaxxed.
Right.
Even though, and so.
Like
you have an excuse.
Your body like immediately starts depleting the effect of the vaccine.
I have it just can't create antibodies. So when everyone's like, oh, I need, so the B cells is what does that. So you get vaccinated for anything. My body, the antibodies that I've created from vaccines before I was on the Ocrevus, that's all still in you. The ones, the long lasting ones. But yeah, it's not. But there's other things vaccines do with your T cells and stuff like that I benefit from. Clearly, I've gotten COVID once, but it was just really annoying to know that like on one side you're like, oh, I wish people would get vaccinated and wear masks.
Right.
And here I am like, hello everybody. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Not me.
I've gotten boosted and everything, and I got, like here's my Vax card. It's 2 sides, and but
Michelle, but it's intravenous, right? They come in with a needle.
At this point, they do it every 6 months because they think your B cells are like repleting, and then that would create the progression. But at this point, I've had the Ocrevus for long enough to where they check my B cells before, like a few weeks before I get blood work, and I pretty much have like next to zero like B cells, and there's no side effects from it. But it doesn't help your symptoms. Like so, any of that stuff is just all your body has to take care of.
What was Jerry fucking Dean Martin and Jerry
Lewis?
Yeah, what was his fucking telethon?
A muscular
dystrophy.
Yeah.
That's separate.
Yeah.
Do you get a telethon for MS?
What?
Who's your celebrity? Besides you? Who's the famous?
Well, there's like Selma Blair was diagnosed with MS, and she got stem cell treatment, which is like not really it's a thing, but and I understand where people are coming from because. Man, it did take a long time for me to feel better. And also you feel so bad you want to do anything.
Right.
And I think that sort of the kind of doing that stem cell thing, she basically had to go through like chemotherapy and then it's a lot. And it's like the sort of optimism and patience that you have to have. Otherwise, when you feel like my life has changed, especially when you're out. But the other person who was diagnosed with MS, there's a bunch of people who have it, but like Christina Applegate just came out about it last year.
See, those are cool girls.
And so there's a Montel Williams, Jack Osbourne.
Oh no! Do you remember? I miss Montel Williams. Do you remember Sylvia Brown?
Yeah.
On Wednesday. Do you remember Sylvia Brown? She was that psychic.
Nope.
That deep voice. And
Oh,
she
right. Right. I know from you.
These crazy long acrylic nails. And my favorite thing about the Montel
Like Paul
Williams
Simon?
Worse. It's like Paul Simon. Have you seen Paul Simon's nails?
No.
It's atrocious.
Oh.
I can't get over it.
But he does them to be atrocious.
Yes, so he can play without a pick.
Oh, no. Not to be atrocious, just because you can play with
It looks like a monkey's paw you buy at like a spooky market.
Well, I say he's like a bowling ball with nails.
Yeah,
He's that small.
When someone has their parasitic twin removed from them and it's like hair and nails.
Oh, no. Okay, that's not part. That's,
No. That's just what his hand looks like.
That's a dermoid, believe it or not.
There's a word for that?
Dermoid.
What did you call me?
A dermoid.
A dermoid.
Laura just pointed a finger at me and said, that's a dermoid.
I know what that is because MOID, because Brett Butler used to say, Laura, you see this thing in my eye? It's my twin. And it was like a little piece of, I don't know what it was. I mean, they like take it out and then there's a little bit of a microscopic bit of bone. And
oh my Christ.
Is that where they find it? Like
calcium.
it's a tooth in that? Like, are they?
It's like calcium.
Wow.
You need to do cameos as other people.
That was a good Brett Butler. That was like in one word. I was like,
That's easy.
Grace Under Fire. Hello, welcome to my podcast.
I loved Grace Under Fire. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
You were like sassy
that era,
and
of sitcom,
like a sassy blue collar woman.
The Torkelsons, I think.
I love the Torkelsons.
What?
Yes, because she go, yes. Oh my god! And the lead kid was like obsessed with Emily, who's the poet, famous.
That was the beginning and end of what I remember about the Torkelsons.
No, old school poet, very famous female, Emily.
Not Emily Bronte.
Dickinson.
Oh, Dickinson.
Right, that's a poet.
You're right.
Yeah, that is.
You're right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
she,
Bronte's
the oldest daughter on the fucking Torkelsons.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
It's a TV show.
Apologize.
But what about Emily Dickinson?
Let's
that
talk
was the
about
name.
that.
She would always post up in the window. It would be the bumper at the end of every show. She'd write a poem and be like, "I just want to be Emily Dickinson when I grow up." And it's like that's what the Torkelsons taught me was about like famous American poets.
Oh wow!
Wait, is Emily Dickinson American?
I don't know.
That's so funny you mentioned that because it had the kid with the nerdy blonde kid.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, I am literally remembering. I just remember like
Oh my God.
I know the accent. I have the vision of what the mother looks like.
This was like in the
All
era
I can
of like,
think of is the dinosaurs. Is that?
Oh yeah,
them?
that's right in the era. That's the same era. Yeah, the
Okay.
dinosaurs.
all of
Yep.
that,
That
like
family.
Sequest,
Okay.
shit like that would be on TV. My friend, I worked at 100 restaurants, but the last place I worked was a barbecue restaurant, and every place in Texas I ever
The
worked
very
at,
famous barbecue that I
very
never went
famous.
to.
You didn't?
No, I meant to when you were there, but
Yeah.
it just didn't work out.
If we're ever there together, we should go. The guys in the kitchen were a few of them were from Mexico, and one guy didn't speak any English. He was my best friend. I loved him. He would call me muñeca, which means
little
doll.
doll,
I know,
yeah.
I loved it.
I like it.
Because there's a very Faye thing that like there's a very straight Hispanic men will totally play with the gay guy. It's a weird like reverse of machismo. But one of the few English like phrases or things he learned. He knew like one Backstreet Boys lyric. You'd walk through the kitchen and go, everybody. But that would be it, right? That would be the only thing he said. But one of the only things he picked up, and I don't know what planet he got it from, was from the dinosaurs. He'd go, not the mama.
Oh my
I was
god!
like, so you picked up a quote from 30 years ago? Like, what TV guide are you reading to learn English? Like,
I love Shaun the Sheep.
Oh,
what is that?
It was a series. I don't know if it's on here, but Shaun the Sheep was like Gromit and
Yeah.
the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
But it's a
Oh,
sheep and his
yeah.
family.
Do you remember the Teletubbies? Did you ever watch Teletubbies?
no, and I was more of in a Barney era. And
Okay,
and
yeah,
honestly,
same,
no, that's
same,
not true.
same.
That was when I babysat kids. I mean,
Yes.
I was much more in the sort of 3-2-1 contact.
Oh my God, I
Mr.
love
Rogers' Neighborhood.
3,
Oh,
2,
yeah.
Sesame
1,
Street,
content.
Powerhouse.
It's the answer.
Zoom.
Zoom, yeah,
That
Zoom,
means
yeah.
I'm. Yeah, that's me.
It's the reason
Later.
For everything that happens, contact. That's the theme song, right?
Yeah.
3. Because what was the detective series they had on every Friday? It was Detective Monday.
I can't remember, but I do remember an episode of it. They found there was tuna that had salmonella in it, or something, and I will never forget that episode.
Yes,
because it's just like but it's.
Barney, it was so funny. We went to like college for kids, and it was a theater camp, right?
Oh,
and
okay.
they promised us like a celebrity teacher.
Oh, geez.
And it was one of the kids from Barney, and none of us cared. It was so funny. They're like, please welcome Dave from Barney.
Well, did any of you watch Wonderama? Or is that an East Coast thing? And that's before your time. Oh.
What is that?
Well, there was Bob McAllister was the host. And doesn't that sound like a host?
It sounds very local.
Yeah, it was very local, I think. And then he sang this thing. Well, that's a very good thing. I'm happy to say good news today. That was good news. Whatever the kids, so the kids would stand up and say, I'm going to have a baby sister. Well, now that's really good news.
Oh.
I'm always saying this to, another friend of mine from New York. Well, my mom is going to have an abortion. Well, now that's really good news. I'm happy to say, so I'll get all the attention. That's good news today.
That was at church? Where was that?
No,
that was
it was a show. It was a TV show, Wonderama.
I love
It was probably over by the time you guys were
I did investigate.
kids. I think it ended in 81 or 2. I don't know.
Laura has talked about her time at the Barbizon Beauty School. Is that what it's
believe
called?
it's a modeling school.
Yeah.
I didn't
Do you know
learn
what it
how to
is?
do
I've heard
hair.
of Barbizon. That's an old school reference.
So
I
thought it was like a local, like a New York thing. I just looked it up. They're under investigation.
Oh, well,
there have
so
been
everyone.
fraud cases.
I mean, if you're not under investigation right now, who are you?
You're not a real modeling.
you're not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
That isn't a real modeling agency.
But my aunt took me to like a casting call like that.
Oh, really?
Where they could bring you in and they put you through all this falderall of like, you could be famous and we'll take a free headshot for you and all that. And all they want is like $300 so you can buy your headshot.
Back in my day, it was 1,000. And I still don't know if I am a Barbizon model.
If you graduated?
Yeah, I graduated, so I guess I am.
We got to find your paperwork.
Okay, you gotta get your copy of your diploma on
No,
their website.
I'm kidding with you kids. I'm joking. Nobody is a fucking Barbizon.
No one ever
This
makes
is
it to
not a
graduate.
thing.
Where did you grow up?
Well, I was born in Orange County. I was born in Fullerton, and I grew up in La Habra. But then we moved to like northwestern rural Wisconsin in 1987 when I was 11.
Hey, I have to ask the high school question.
Yeah.
How did you do in high school? Were you a cheerleader? Were
No.
you just funny and had a good time?
I went to, and I want to say, like, and I feel like sometimes people mistake me sometimes as like some sort of mean girl or something. But when I was in high school, and, it was a very small school in a very small town, 1,200 people, not popular, very funny, but only was able to try and be funny to my teachers because a lot of people found it annoying. And so really was just kind of just tried to make my own way. But then when I went to college, the farthest place I could go to that was still in state, which is University of Wisconsin at Madison in the 90s, around the time, the Onion and everything. And and that was kind of when I was able to sort of, I would say not popular, but find a social circle. And then when I, of course, moved to Austin in 99, I moved, and then started doing stand-up. So the stand-up for me has always been a way to sort of give the semblance of being popular.
Yeah.
But still, even in Philly,
that's a good point.
Exactly, because you get to hang out. That's why, even in Philly, where I don't really have that many friends, but friends. I guess it's not friends. I just don't have friends. But a lot of the people that you see, because a lot of these comics are young, right? And so it's not really them, but a lot of the people that I meet are parents, and they're not from Los Angeles. They're not in show business. So I'm like an alien, and so it's back to that high school feeling, and I'm doing these things where they. It's just, I actually ran into a parent. I took Tenny to go see Mean Girls, the traveling company in Philly last week. And one of the moms was behind me. I had never met her because I've been bad in the past about doing functions. And
I would never want to make friends with the other students.
I am trying. I'm going to try
no.
and be a little more open, and I've got to create a social circle there in Philly. But I met her, and she was with 9 friends. 2 of them she knew. They had matching shirts, mugs with her name. But no, fucking brought in a bottle of vodka, full bottle into like the Pantages, whatever the Philly version of the Pantages is.
Yes.
And I was like, you guys. And then I did a shot like halfway through. And I'm with Penny, and Penny thinks this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then she's talking to me, acknowledging we'd never really met. But then, of course, 5 minutes later, yeah, we all want to come to one of your shows.
Oh my God, no.
And my husband looked you up because like you don't want to establish like, so like what kind of stuff do you do? Do you do like open mic? Like I'm not going to sit here and just, so it's a weird dynamic where they don't really understand it, but at the same time, like I want them to in a way, but also I usually am just like,
I'm going through that with boyfriends' friends because they're like, oh, why don't we ever see your LA shows? I'm like, because most of them suck, and I don't want you. It's like that's
you don't understand. It's not at the Comedy Store all the time or something you've heard of, and
because they came, I begged to come see me in Irvine, and I was like, no, don't. And then as I'm driving to the venue, it's like, we just bought tickets. We're going to come see you. I was like, it's good. And the Late Show. It was the worst show ever. I bombed.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And the reason I bombed, because I knew they were there.
Yeah.
Or in my head.
I hate them. I was going to say, like, I mean, I don't think anybody in the neighborhood knows that I'm do stand up or anything. But there was a
think.
I know.
That's what I always say. Like, you think.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the and I never invite anyone. Never. Not even
I would
friends.
never.
This is me just being like Boo Radley. Also, I don't know any of my neighbors. But this woman was she was kind of, I think she was as a newer neighbor, and I was out with the dog, and she said, yeah, well, my husband's goes away this week, and I'm probably just going to hang out, get a pizza and watch Mantis if you'd like to join me. And I said, ooh, I hate the title. Who's in it? And she said, that's my son's name.
Oh my God. Oh, that is, oh God.
Shut up. Are you serious?
Oh my
And I
God.
said, well, now I hate the parents.
No,
Yeah, exactly. Well, now clearly you made the mistake and I walked into it and we're going to blame you. And
but that person has to put the disclaimer.
Of course.
My child has a bug's name. They can't just sit there and watch you squirm.
I guess they think that I'm, that I live in the modern world and that anything could come out of your mouth.
We're not all Gwyneth Paltrow. We haven't named our kids objects.
It is really difficult to talk to people. I want to say for the reason, if you're used to talking to comics, people that are, your friends who are funny, and you have a certain swagger about shit talking each other and sort of like having a good time. And there's a moment where I'm like, hi, yeah, no, we haven't met. No, that's really great. Yeah, maybe we can do something sometime. And then there's a moment where I change.
Yeah, I say no.
And I'm like, but also, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, you guys want to have fun? Oh, you're trying to be funny? Okay, let's be funny. And then I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, suddenly the texting stops. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it's sort of like, I guess I'm not invited to these things. And I'm like, I guess.
But I love not being invited.
No, then you're let off the hook. You are let off.
Right.
But I do feel like an element of, for my kid, for like, listen, like I need to sort of, I'm not in LA, I'm in Philly, and you need to just sort of
mingle with the parents.
I need to sort of, I know I'm going to find friends, right? Someone's out there, and they don't have to be like some sort of, writer or whatever. And I have to just keep saying the wrong thing until I find the right person.
Yes. Yes. That is brilliant.
And I just try not to feel bad about it. But I do my version of Mantis all the time. Yeah. And I'm like, whatever.
I'm also shocked how a lot of people just, civilians, if you will.
Yeah, civilians.
Normal people.
I know that's lame.
No, I say that
pedestrians.
too. But
They don't have a sense of humor.
No.
Or just, I find myself saying, mumbling. No, I was kidding. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know.
I keep it. It's like my intrusive thought, and then I have to get on the phone later. I have to tell you 10 things I didn't say today.
I didn't say so much. But the thing, because I kept it a secret when I started stand up, because it's not, at least for me, not the thing I start bragging about. And so then when my friends started finding out, I noticed it with strangers a little bit when you tell them what you do. I just say writer.
Yeah.
But then the next person is, what do you write? But I never say straight out comedian. And it's like, there's a few friends I could name and a few family members. It's like, it's never been the same. Yeah. The way they talk to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, there's some people I know in Philly that are the same way.
Forever different.
And I always thought, if I ever did stand up, then I would do.
Oh, God.
And I have. And I'm like,
run screaming.
Please. And what I do is, especially if it's someone that I have to talk to, I can't just never see again.
Yes.
And I just tell them, I say, okay, I know what you're about to say to me. You want to try out on me, but you have to understand I've been doing stand up for almost 24 years. And even if this is kind of funny, I'm not going to think this is funny, but it's probably not going to be funny. And I am not the right person to go do an open mic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like, don't even like, it's like, I know, like, just go do an open mic.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot care about being a successful comic at all. And you can still go do an open mic. You know what I mean? Like,
my friend's wife is like, and I've known him forever. She is not funny on any day.
Yeah.
And then the minute she found out, but the minute she found out I'm a comedian, like literally the last time I saw her, she's just not even one-upping. It's like the things falling out of her mouth are just nonsense because she's trying to be like funny on the fly. But that makes me want to shrink away. I do not.
It's hard. It's like where I hear them go into it and I'm just like, and like, so what kind of stand-up do you do? I'm like, you know how like I just made you laugh 5 minutes ago without trying? It's like that, but I try and I'm on stage. I literally say that to people. I'm like, I am like myself on stage, except I have written a lot of it out. And that's all you, and if you want to come, that's fine. It might be good. It might not be good. You can look on my Instagram if you want to see when it is. It's not a piano recital. I'm not going to invite people. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. So I'm not embarrassed about it, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to make a big deal about it.
Like, I don't invite. It's the same with neighbors. Like, I don't make, you just moved into a new place. Are you making friends with neighbors?
Well, it's been 2 weeks, but I do have to say, because it's a managed building and people have been friendly, you know, but it's I'm also like, like not necessarily like, hey, here's a banana bread I just I make 1,000. I'm handing them out.
If someone knocked on your door, since it's a managed
someone
building,
knocked on my door.
If you're just at home in your new place and you heard a random knock, would you answer?
I am trying to put myself in this particular situation, in this mindset of, Michelle, you need to sort of create a new routine, open yourself up, and actually like sort of figure out, you know, like maybe you can like, you know, like I'm going to go to like, I joined the film society, like whatever, like I've been doing this stuff. So like, I'm just like, you're living this building. So because it's an apartment building and not a hotel, if it was a hotel, I would be like, I'm asleep. And, but I would probably answer through the door and,
like,
I mean,
hello,
hi. I'm,
Do you get random knocks?
But I think I remember, like, for guys too, I think it's different to admit that they're stand-ups. I remember doing a show and there was a comic, an older comic. His name is Teddy Bergeron. Maybe he was kind of. It's probably still around, well known.
Is it like
not
Tom
Bergeron?
Bergeron?
No. That's what I thought.
Yeah, because he was a comic.
There's
right?
two Bergerons.
Wait a second, then I'm wrong. It must be Tom.
But he did America's Funniest Videos, hosted that for
and Dancing with the Stars.
Then I think I might be wrong altogether.
Okay. Well, his name, he was a man and he had a name.
Yeah.
Not Mantis and not Tom or Ted. Yeah.
And anyway, we were all in a hotel together. He was kind of making other comics come in and watch his Tonight Show set.
What?
I mean, his tape of his VHS of the Tonight. That was his way. That's like how he was like picking people up, I think. Or I mean, like, you know, just like, or bragging to friends. And, come on, come in and see my, you know, and he has tape of his Tonight Show.
Did he have to bring, like, did he have, like, a VHS player?
Yeah,
so he carries that with him? Like,
I know. How do you,
I think it was in the hotel. I mean, I think
he rolled it in, like, in a classroom, like, here we go.
This is a production. I'll have to watch it. But I just thought that was fun. Like, back in the day. Yeah,
where you have to, like, you're using it, like, as a brag, you know? Like, not only am I a comic, but, you know, I always feel like if people want to find out about me, they can look it up and see and pretend they never have. You know what I mean?
My ex-brother-in-law, my sister's ex-husband, one Christmas, I think he was just trying to bond with me, which is laughable. But he was like, so I showed my family your stand-up.
Oh no.
And I just immediately, I was like, that was a horrible decision. I was like, it didn't go well. He literally told me that. I was like,
what?
Well, first of all, it's
why would he do that?
Why would he even do it? Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's
that's aggressively passive.
City. Yes.
Yeah.
I think honestly, because I think he thought we were in agreement that because I know his fucking MAGA crazy Fox News family would have hated it. So I think there was more on like content than that than criticizing me as a funny person. I think it was more that because I was like, I have been in the room when someone's like, let's watch your comedy. Has that happened to you?
No.
Or like they watch a video of you?
But they talk to me about it. Or like they have like, they've seen something or even
I was at a party where we're all watching different videos on YouTube something. And they're like, let's watch your stand-up.
Oh,
like,
no, I'm not at those
parties.
Please
Please no.
No,
and they did it. And it was one of those things where you had to watch your friends. Go.
Oh,
It was good.
Ah.
And it's like you can't run screaming from your best friends
it's
fast
hard.
enough.
I got one round of my headshots that I did, and now thank God most people you can use like publicity shots, which are so much fucking better than getting a headshot, you know. But like they have professional photographers at every show now, and you can be like, oh, that's gorgeous,
brilliant.
But I went and got headshots somewhere downtown, and the photographer was a really good photographer. When I walked in, he was like, pressed play on like some TV set I did. And I was like, and he goes, I just want to get the idea of who you are. I'm like, oh, fuck me. You know what I mean?
Fuck?
He was a nice guy. He wasn't like a dick or anything, but like just these sort of, just the disconnect of thinking that's
You're
okay.
posing for pictures while audio of you is playing.
Yeah. Well, no, it was more of there was a step one than a step two.
Gotcha,
he was like needed to get into the zeitgeist of
mindset.
me. Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, oh my God, this is just so, where you just want to explain every single pause, you know what I mean?
I took headshots with this dude. He's a great photographer. And I canceled once because I was like, I'm not in the mood and my hair's not right. And it's just a horrible experience. And then so I didn't want to cancel again. So I just went through it. And it was at like 10 in the morning.
Oh, no.
All the things were bad. I'd done my own makeup, which was like, you know when high school kids do like their theater makeup like that? They're supposed to look like an aged person. That's what I look like. It was like someone just put baby powder on my face that all went to my lines. All you could see were wrinkles.
That's so funny.
The whole thing was a
I feel
disaster.
like I still don't know how to put on
no,
makeup.
I don't at all either, and I refuse to learn. I do, like powder or foundation, eyeliner, mascara. That's it. Oh, and a big lipstick. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
But like when
you do a dark lip.
I do a dark lip. But like when I see, like I know people do the contouring and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, my brain just goes. Shoo.
Yeah.
I know I could watch a video. I know I could learn. I'm sure it would look great. But guess what?
No.
Like I don't, unless it's being done on my face.
Yes.
No.
You're very smart though. You're very like, you read, you do crossword, but you know stuff.
You know, she reminds me of Julia a little bit.
100%. Yeah.
Julia's
Have you ever met
smart,
Julia
too.
Sweeney?
Oh no, I haven't. But also another great compliment.
Yeah.
I love her.
Same
She's
energy.
fantastic.
Yeah. Same energy.
But I have been told that before. So yeah.
Oh really?
You're smart like her.
Yeah.
Well, because it's one thing. Okay, so like with MS, right? You get something.
Oh, that was the worst part of it. Is when I that was the worst part. About like the feeling like I didn't have control over and doing stand up.
Yes.
In which maybe I've written jokes, but I'm very off the cuff on stage and feeling like I didn't have control over that, and that I've gotten back. And when I'm tired now, I know I'm tired, and I'll state it, but. And doing something like this, like it was so exhausting.
Were
for
you
me,
like, I'm
hated it.
losing my chops?
I just
before
thought
you could
that
identify.
I just thought I couldn't. I was not going to be able to do something like stand up, like I wanted to and could. And so I just said, well, then I'll just do it this way. But then it just got better. I just kind of like when you accept like how something's going to be is how it is.
Yeah.
And then you like, oh, okay, now, wow, you don't even realize you're kind of back into sorts. And most people, what was annoying about it is it's all in your head, but not like it's not real. And you tell people this and they'd be like, oh, you seem fine. You seem great. I'm like, no, I'm not fine. I can't remember the word for this. You know what I mean? And I should have been able to participate in this conversation and I couldn't. And I want to leave the room, but.
Like having like sorry, can I bring up an aneurysm?
Oh yeah,
Is that
please.
okay?
I thought this is the one time that I would not bring it up.
I'm going to talk about
bring it up.
But like you have to learn about yourself.
I
like,
had a brain aneurysm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, not, but yes, it's a connection where it's just like I'm assuming that you felt different in your brain and how you're thinking. Yeah.
But you have to
But
learn.
with me, though, everybody was like, no, but you've always like been searching for words and you're always kind of slow. Like my mom said, but you were always forgetting things. And I was like,
It was a slow aneurysm.
But that was like, that's the worst when people say that to you and you're like, no, that's not, this is, maybe that's how you saw it, but that was not from this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
I
not
was
how
this
I feel.
far from becoming a poet laureate.
Yeah,
I was. I don't know how you don't know this.
I-
And now I'm just a jackass.
You were-
stand up.
It was a slow build. You weren't seeing it. I could. I was on the inside looking out,
Right.
and now it's been taken from me.
You could have been the oldest sister on the Torkelsons.
I
but
know.
no.
I know. My friend Henriette Mantel has MS, and we went on an MS walk. And I just have to, it was the slowest walk I've ever done.
How much do you guys want to cure this MS? Let's get it going.
The one thing I don't like is when other comics want to talk to you about like your approach. Does that happen?
Well,
They get to the nitty gritty of it all. I'm like,
now, if someone did that, I'd be really annoyed. But yeah. But I don't know if they ever. No, I don't think so. I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I would be bad to have a conversation like that. My approach is I'm funny and I decided to start doing stand up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I have. But some people are very sort of like academic about it and stuff. Yeah. I'm around when I'm in Philly, I'm around a lot of young people. So that's a hard part. They're like 20 years younger than me. Yeah. And they're all like sort of influencer based. Yes. So they have their cameras with them. And the way they're talking about it is, well, they just started during the pandemic, and then they're like, well, I'm going to be shooting a special next week. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. So, I was working with, and they'll name someone that's done stand-up for 10 years that I've known for a long, and I'm just like, oh, okay. I think when all of us started, pre-2008, 2009, of course, that's when comedy with YouTube and everything took such a big jump, and it went from being this sort of like dark thing, like in a dark room with your sort of like not outcast, but whatever, like it's a group of people. Now it's like, this whole thing, like it's like it's about being popular and all this stuff, and there's so many people that do it. And it's just,
material
it's a lot.
Kind of is the last thing that matters.
Material is the total. It's more like you're just talking and say, I can't stand like clips right now because there's no, like, it's just a statement.
Yeah, there's no punchline.
Oh, yeah. And even the outfit people wear, like, I'm like, listen, if I'm going to go in a hoodie on stage, which I don't wear hoodies on stage, it's not going to be like perfectly, laundered and like, you know what I mean? And like all like, and it's just very much like, it's the idea of stand-up is so far removed from like what it was, which is not a bad thing. Sure. There's still funny people, and I will say like I've met young funny people, but a lot of times it's like when actors would do stand-up like 20 years ago, and you'd be like, okay, they're just trying to be seen,
be famous,
but now people can get an audience like on TikTok and stuff, and they can wield that. But to me, if you're in a room with a bunch of comedians and you're not, it's clear that you've only done stand-up for 5 years, even if you have 5 million followers, like that's
matters.
The proof. Yeah.
Can I tell you, so Boyfriend works in fashion. It was in Paris for some whatever release, who cares, of the season. And so they have the face sheet. Do you know what that is? The face sheet where it's all the celebrities.
Wait, what did they teach you at Barbizon?
Yeah, you don't know anything about the face sheet?
I want to see the diploma.
I didn't get as far as a face sheet, I'll tell you that much.
But so the thing of the face sheet is for the people running the event, so they can see the famous people who are going to be there / influencers, right? So it's a piece of paper.
I'd like that just for like walking around.
Oh my God, no! I collect all the.
Is that a friend or a character actor?
But you know what I mean? So most of the people I haven't heard of because they're influencers, and then they have like real famous people. And at the Paris one, the main celebrity was CHER. So the way the face sheet reads, it's you're tiered by level of whatever importance. Well, fucking CHER was like on the third.
I swear to God, I was waiting for you to say something as ridiculous as that.
I know. And the other thing is what they do is they put your info, right, about who the famous. So their name is there, and then the only pertinent information is how many Instagram followers.
No, okay.
So here's someone you've never heard of, 100 million followers. Here's someone you've never heard of, a bazillion followers, and then there's CHER. Jeez. And it says, can you imagine CHER giving million? Yeah,
can you imagine CHER giving a shit about fucking whoever, any of these? It doesn't matter how famous they are. Jake Paul, I don't know. Yeah, whoever they are.
Couldn't care less.
Like,
but also, let's ask CHER how many followers she had in the 70s, right? Like, fuck you. It was probably bazillion.
It's so awful.
But I couldn't believe the reduction. I was like, when you're a one-name, multi-generational legend like CHER,
and you're CHER. I mean, you are like CHER.
Yeah. You are AI at this point, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. The other thing about young comedians is this one kid, he told a joke. He was like, my parents always said, why can't you be like your brother Tim? Tim was my parasitic brother who died at birth, right? My dumbass had pulled him aside to tell him that's actually a Joan Rivers joke from like 30 years ago or 40 years ago, when I realized, A, he's too young to give a shit. And B, I probably shouldn't tell him how to narrate his own story about his dead parasitic brother. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? I was like, just stay out of it. But I thought it would help him to know. He's repeating someone else's joke.
Oh, yeah.
Kid blinked and walked away from me.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm just trying to. Yeah, I mean, like it's not really about becoming. It's about it's about recording your specials.
Yeah. Which people don't even do anymore. You just
I'm going to say they're not special.
No, they're not.
They're just fucking not special at all.
I don't even watch any special. Like people are like, oh, have you seen someone I like Hal Canane's special or someone that I like? No. Yeah. And I'm like, I just say to them, I'm like, I know you think I do, and I say, I know I do stand up. but I'm not a fan of stand up. I when I'm on a show, I like to watch my people that are on the show that like are fun. Like, I mean, it just is what it is. Like, I love being funny. I like being around people that are funny and watching us are funny, but I'm not doing it on the weekends.
I want to find out where you're going to be next.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God. Well, I'm going to be sitting in a camp chair.
No, we're gonna get you a
house.
couch.
No, what
And
show
I
can
did.
we-
I bought a couch. I went to Crate and Barrel the other day, and I bought a sectional, and hopefully it'll be in my place soon. Yeah, I don't have anything coming up at all. I mean, I don't have anything booked at all. I've just finished doing every possible thing I have booked. I'm probably forgetting something that I have booked. But yeah, I'll be back in LA hopefully in the beginning of the year, and
great.
hopefully I'll be doing stuff in. Oh no, I know I'll be doing. Maria Bamford's going to be in town, and I'm going to crash every night and do guest sets at the Helium in Philly at the end of the month.
Oh,
See, boom.
fantastic.
And where can people find your
Great.
albums and stuff?
Oh, you can listen to them on Spotify. I have my first album is You Can Be an Asshole, and my second album, which I released in 2020, is called Permanent Hat. And those you can get on all of the places where you listen to music in your ears. You can also buy it, but I don't think you're going to. And, but just listen to it and then ask for it on your favorite Sirius XM station, because that's the only way I make money from it. So yeah.
See, that's beautiful. Yay.
But yeah, but that's about it. But thank you.
Thanks, Michelle.
This was lovely. I
You're
love
lovely.
it.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Keep the okay. I like that. That was great.